The tapestry of family life is woven with threads of love, care, and unwavering support, particularly during the formative years of childhood. Parents dedicate themselves to nurturing, guiding, and providing for their children, often making significant sacrifices along the way. However, as children mature and transition into adulthood, the dynamics within the family structure inevitably evolve. Parents who have poured their hearts and souls into raising their children may find themselves facing an unexpected and often painful shift in the relationship, a subtle or not so subtle decline in the respect they receive from their adult offspring. This erosion of respect can manifest in a variety of ways, some more overt than others. It might begin with adult children casually dismissing their parents' opinions or disregarding their advice, as if their years of experience and wisdom hold little value. It could progress to more blatant forms of disrespect, such as talking over them during conversations, belittling their accomplishments, or openly criticizing their lifestyle choices. In its most hurtful expression, it can involve making a parent feel like a burden, an unwelcome and inconvenient presence in their children's lives. These experiences can be deeply wounding for parents who have invested so much time, energy, and love into their children's well-being. They may feel confused, frustrated, and even heartbroken by the perceived lack of appreciation and respect. The instinctive reaction is often one of anger and resentment. A parent might feel tempted to remind their children of the countless sacrifices they have made, the years they have devoted to their upbringing, and the unwavering love and support they have consistently provided. While such feelings are understandable, succumbing to these emotions is unlikely to yield positive results. In fact, it can often exacerbate the situation, creating a cycle of negativity and further eroding the bonds of respect and affection. Instead of resorting to anger or confrontation, parents who find themselves in this challenging situation can benefit from adopting a more strategic, thoughtful, and self-aware approach. By understanding the underlying dynamics at play, recognizing their own contributions to the problem, and implementing specific techniques, it is often possible to regain the respect of adult children without resorting to conflict or resentment. The key lies in shifting the focus from demanding respect to inspiring it through one's own actions, attitudes, and the establishment of healthy boundaries. Laying the groundwork for respect, the power of self-respect and boundaries. At the heart of regaining respect from adult children lies a fundamental principle: self-respect. Respect, as the saying goes, must be earned, not demanded. And the first step in earning the respect of others is to cultivate a deep and unwavering sense of self-worth. One of the most common pitfalls that parents fall into, particularly as they age, is the tendency to seek their children's approval at all costs. Driven by a desire to maintain harmony, avoid conflict, and feel loved and accepted, parents may find themselves constantly trying to please their children, often at the expense of their own needs, desires, and well-being. This can manifest in a variety of ways, such as going out of one's way to accommodate their children's schedules, agreeing to requests even when one would rather decline, and consistently prioritizing their children's needs above their own. While such actions may stem from a place of genuine love and a desire to support their children, they can inadvertently undermine the very respect that parents seek. When parents consistently prioritize their children's needs over their own, they are, in effect, sending a message, both to themselves and to their children, that their own feelings, desires, and well-being are of secondary importance. Over time, this can lead to a sense of entitlement in the children and a diminished appreciation for the sacrifices that their parents have made. It can also create a dynamic in which the parents are seen as being weak, dependent, and lacking in their own sense of self-worth. To regain respect, parents must first learn to respect themselves. This involves recognizing their own value as individuals, independent of their role as parents. It means acknowledging their own needs, desires, and aspirations, and making a conscious effort to prioritize their own well-being. It also means setting healthy boundaries, clearly defined limits on what they are willing to do, give, or tolerate from their children. Setting boundaries is not about being selfish, controlling, or unloving. It is about establishing a framework of mutual respect and ensuring that the relationship is healthy and sustainable for both parties. It involves saying no when necessary, expressing one's own thoughts and opinions, even if they differ from those of their children, and refusing to tolerate disrespectful, dismissive, or belittling behavior. By demonstrating self-respect and setting healthy boundaries, parents send a powerful message to their adult children. I value myself, and I expect to be treated with respect. This newfound perception is the foundation upon which respect can be rebuilt. Leading by example, the power of dignity and composure. When faced with disrespectful behavior from adult children, the instinctive reaction is often to argue, to defend oneself, and to demand that one's opinions be heard. However, engaging in arguments is rarely productive and can often escalate tensions, leading to further disrespect, resentment, and a deepening of the divide between parent and child. Respect, it's important to remember, is not won through heated debates, forceful assertions, or emotional outbursts. It is earned through one's presence, one's demeanor, and one's ability to respond to challenging situations with grace, dignity, and composure. It is about demonstrating the very qualities that one seeks to elicit from others. Instead of arguing or engaging in emotional confrontations, parents should strive to lead by example. This involves maintaining their dignity, speaking with confidence and clarity, and refusing to stoop to the level of disrespectful behavior. It means listening attentively to their children's perspectives, even when one disagrees, and responding with thoughtful and respectful counter-arguments. It also means refraining from making personal attacks, resorting to name-calling, or engaging in any other form of verbal abuse. By consistently demonstrating respect, even in the face of disrespect, parents can gradually shift the dynamic within the relationship. Children will begin to recognize the strength, integrity, and self-control of their parents' character, and will be more likely to reciprocate with respect in return. Cultivating independence, the importance of emotional self-sufficiency. As individuals age, it is natural to seek emotional support and companionship from loved ones, including their children. However, when parents become overly reliant on their children for emotional fulfillment, it can create an imbalance in the relationship that undermines respect and ultimately leads to resentment. While love, affection, and mutual support are essential components of any healthy family dynamic, the moment children sense that a parent needs them for validation, emotional well-being, or a sense of purpose in life, the power dynamic shifts. Children may begin to feel burdened by the responsibility of providing constant emotional support, and this can lead to feelings of resentment, guilt, and a desire to distance themselves from their parents. People, even one's own children, tend to respect those who are emotionally independent, self-sufficient, and capable of finding happiness and fulfillment in their own lives. When parents demonstrate that they are engaged in activities that bring them joy, that they have strong relationships with friends and other members of their community, and that they are capable of managing their own emotions, it creates a sense of admiration and respect. To cultivate emotional independence, parents should focus on pursuing their own interests, engaging in activities that bring them joy and a sense of accomplishment, and building strong relationships with friends, family, and other members of their community. They should also learn to manage their own emotions, cope with stress, and find healthy ways to deal with loneliness and other challenges. By demonstrating that they are capable of standing strong on their own, parents can alleviate the pressure on their children, foster a more balanced and respectful relationship, and ultimately create a more fulfilling and satisfying life for themselves. Setting clear boundaries, protecting your time, energy, and emotional well-being. One of the most common reasons why children may lose respect for their parents is because the parents have allowed them to do so. If parents consistently tolerate disrespectful behavior, dismissive attitudes, and a disregard for their feelings, children will continue to act in this manner. This is not necessarily because they are inherently bad or malicious, but rather because they have learned that such behavior is acceptable, or at least that it will not be met with any serious consequences. Setting boundaries is essential for establishing a framework of respect within the family. This involves clearly defining what behaviors are acceptable and unacceptable, and consistently enforcing those boundaries when they are crossed. Boundaries are not about being controlling, inflexible, or unloving. They are about protecting one's time, energy, emotional well-being, and sense of self-worth. Setting boundaries might involve limiting the amount of time one is willing to spend on the phone with a child who constantly complains or criticizes, refusing to lend money to a child who is financially irresponsible, or ending a conversation if a child becomes disrespectful or abusive. It's important to communicate these boundaries clearly and calmly, without resorting to anger, threats, or guilt trips. The key is to be consistent in enforcing these boundaries. If one allows a child to cross the line one day, they will be more likely to do so again in the future. By consistently upholding their boundaries, parents teach their children that their feelings and opinions matter, and that they will not tolerate being treated poorly. Over time, this can lead to a significant shift in behavior and a greater sense of respect within the family dynamic. The art of giving, discernment, and reciprocity. It is a natural instinct for parents to want to provide for their children, offering support and assistance whenever needed. However, when this giving becomes one-sided and is met with entitlement rather than gratitude, it can create a dynamic that undermines respect and ultimately leads to resentment on both sides. Parents often give their time, energy, and financial resources to their children, even when those efforts are not acknowledged or reciprocated. They may drop everything to help with a crisis, offer financial assistance without being asked, or consistently prioritize their children's needs above their own. While such generosity may stem from a place of genuine love and a desire to support their children, it can inadvertently create a sense of expectation and entitlement. Children may begin to see their parents' kindness as something they are owed, rather than as a gift that should be appreciated and reciprocated. To regain respect, parents must learn to give with discernment. This means assessing whether one's generosity is being appreciated and reciprocated, and adjusting one's behavior accordingly. It means saying no when necessary, setting limits on what one is willing to give, and ensuring that one's own needs and priorities are not being consistently sacrificed in the process. Giving with discernment also involves encouraging children to take responsibility for their own lives and to contribute to the family dynamic in meaningful ways. This might involve expecting them to help with household chores, to contribute financially when they are able, or simply to show appreciation for the support they receive. By teaching children that generosity is conditional on respect, appreciation, and reciprocity, parents can foster a more balanced, healthy, and mutually respectful relationship. Cultivating a rich and meaningful life, finding fulfillment beyond parenthood. Perhaps one of the most powerful ways to regain the respect of adult children is to demonstrate that one's happiness and fulfillment do not revolve solely around them. As parents, it is natural to devote oneself to one's children, particularly during their formative years. However, as children grow, mature, and eventually leave the nest, it is important to shift one's focus and cultivate a fulfilling life outside of the parental role. If parents have spent their entire lives prioritizing their children's needs and interests, they may inadvertently create the impression that they have nothing else going on in their lives. This can lead children to see their parents as someone who is waiting around for their attention, someone who is solely defined by their role as a parent. This perception can be incredibly limiting and can ultimately undermine the respect that children have for their parents. People tend to respect those who have their own passions, interests, and a strong sense of purpose. When parents demonstrate that they are engaged in activities that bring them joy, challenge them intellectually, connect them with others, and allow them to contribute to something larger than themselves, it creates a sense of admiration and respect in the eyes of their children. To cultivate a rich and meaningful life outside of their children, parents should explore new hobbies, engage in volunteer work, travel, pursue educational opportunities, reconnect with old friends, and cultivate new relationships. They should also make a conscious effort to nurture their own physical, mental, and emotional well-being. By demonstrating that they are living a full, vibrant, and purposeful life, parents can inspire their children to see them in a new light. They will be seen not just as parents, but as individuals with their own unique talents, passions, interests, and contributions to make to the world. This newfound perception can be transformative, leading to a deeper sense of respect, admiration, and genuine connection between parent and child. Regaining respect from adult children is not a quick fix or a one-size-fits-all solution. It is a journey that requires patience, self-awareness, a willingness to make significant changes, and a deep commitment to building a more balanced, healthy, and mutually respectful relationship. It is not about demanding respect, but about inspiring it through one's own actions, attitudes, and the cultivation of a fulfilling and meaningful life. By embracing these principles, parents can transform their relationships with their adult children and reclaim their rightful place as respected, valued, and cherished members of the family. Thank you so much for watching. We truly appreciate you being here. If this video resonated with you, We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. What was your biggest takeaway? How do you plan to apply it in your life? Your insights not only inspire others in our community, but also help us create more meaningful content for you. If you found value here, please consider liking this video, subscribing to our channel, and sharing it with someone who might benefit. It makes a bigger difference than you know. We're grateful for your support and can't wait to continue this journey with you in future videos. Until next time, keep growing and stay open